Welcome to the Crypto News. In this video, Max Keiser and Greg Foss discuss the current market trends and how the higher-ups, namely Wall Street, are trying to sabotage the world's largest cryptocurrency.
Bitcoin is now worth over $400,000 US per coin as a insurance policy on a basket of global fiats, okay? This is a dynamic measurement that changes as the spreads or the credit insurance premiums change on default for sovereign nations. The USA still the market only charges the USA 16 basis points per year, which is equivalent to $16,000 to insure $10 million of US Treasury debt. You can go all the way down the spectrum and not include Russia, but all the way to Turkey, where the probability of default is very meaningful. But you can accumulate all of these essential fiat risks. You can consolidate them. You get a value for Bitcoin as the most beautiful form of insurance against default on a basket of fiats. And one way I like to point out is, Max, you can essentially get the value of buying protection on the USA for about $1 trillion, and you get all the other fiats for free. And guess what? The value of Bitcoin is less than $500 billion, which means you buy Bitcoin today, you get default protection on the USA and all other fiat currencies for free. Wow, what a deal. Ship it in. People don't understand what a beautiful asset this is, and there is no counterparty risk. You are not buying this from long-term capital management. You're not buying it from a Lehman Brothers or a Bear Stearns, two insurance sellers who almost went bankrupt themselves. One of them did. Point is, Bitcoin has no counterparty risk, and you can get protection on fiat currencies all across the world. I think that, I've made some progress in convincing people that Bitcoin is insurance. It's a long volatility product. It is equivalent to owning default protection on a basket of sovereigns. If I was working at a hedge fund and pitching this a lot harder, like I did in my younger days, maybe I'd have more success. But right now, I'm just happy to spread it amongst the plebs, and it's sinking in. I guarantee you Ray Dalio gets this. Ray Dalio, though, needs to move billions and billions of dollars into Bitcoin, and he can't do it without moving the market. So, this is an incredibly cool concept. There are restrictions because Bitcoin is only still around a $600 billion asset, and Ray Dalio needs to buy about 600 billion of it. Okay. Do you think that wouldn't impact the price of Bitcoin? It's a bit of it's going to be sucking and blowing at the same time. Just understand, though, that this will permeate the common thinking on Wall Street with the help of guys like Fidelity, who is actually doing some pretty good work on Bitcoin, in my opinion.
Well, this is, Michael Burry from the Big Short fame. He's a hedge fund guy. He doesn't understand Bitcoin, obviously, because he's constantly trashing Bitcoin. If he understood it in these terms, he would be all over it, I would imagine, because
over time he'll get it. He is, he had one great trade in his life, and the rest of the time he's chasing the ambulances. Okay. I had the same trade on as Michael Burry at the hedge fund, and then we reversed it and actually made money, far more money on the upside than you do on the downside, meaning betting against it. He was wrong for so long. Okay. He was not a good risk manager. He just eventually got it right. Don't ever confuse a guy who gets the trade right versus being a good risk manager. Michael Burry is not a good risk manager. Okay. Very simply. Is he full of his own, drinking his own Gatorade or whatever? Maybe. Someday he will figure it out for what Bitcoin is as insurance on the fiat Ponzi that he made a lot of money on by being short, but he was short way too early. Okay. He did not manage that like a champ, not even close.
Talking about discounts to current price, what about MicroStrategy's stock? I mean, the Bitcoin on the books is worth more than the current price of the stock by, I believe, a significant factor. And they still have an ongoing enterprise software business, which you're getting for less than nothing.
Well, here's the funny thing. They got this, Wall Street has this idea in their mind that there's actually going to be a margin call at $21,000 per Bitcoin. Michael Saylor has gone out and defended that brilliantly. He might be the smartest financier on Wall Street, and he's not even a Wall Street financier, okay? He has arbed Wall Street 6 ways till Sunday with his convertible arb and the premium he actually essentially issued shares at over his all-time high. All the guys that got screwed were the convertible arb funds that were trying to get exposure to Bitcoin through the back door, okay? Because they couldn't hold it due to
you see, Michael Saylor screws Wall Street, whereas Mike Novogratz screws the little guy. Okay, that's the difference between those two guys.
But he is still a hostage. Saylor is still a hostage because at the end of the day, a $5 billion market cap is just not that big on Wall Street, which is the size of MicroStrategy. Max, here's what people forget though. The short interest needs to be added back into MicroStrategy's enterprise value, the short interest in the stock, because all the guys that are short the stock are long the convertible bond. So if you don't add back the short interest, you're actually double counting the debt short. So you say that it's trading at less than market value of Bitcoin. It's actually probably trading at doubly less if you properly added back the equity shorts on the stock due to the convertible arb desk. So this is just, it's unfortunate that Michael Saylor is only a $5 billion man. I wish that he was a $30 billion man or a $100 billion man so he could do this, and then everybody else in the world would have to do it because MicroStrategy would be the most valuable company in the world. And maybe it's going to be Elon Musk, another rocket scientist, but I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah, well, the margin call for MicroStrategy doesn't come into play until Bitcoin would get into the 2000s. 3,000,
correct. Isn't it funny? But there is, so I subscribe to a very good hedge fund publication, over 600 hedge fund contributors. And I promise you that 21,000 price tag is tattooed into everybody's brain. And they're all shorting MicroStrategy, and they're probably shorting Bitcoin to try and get it to that supposed margin call. That's the way Wall Street works. They're getting throttled on one hand, so they need to invoke pain on other people. You know the way whack-a-mole works on Wall Street, Max. Nobody is going to have a fun time if the big hedge funds are losing money. Oh, and by the way, Tiger is down 50% year to date. 50%. Brilliant hedge fund. Okay. 50%, no fun.
Yeah, well, I mean, it could be just a brilliant way to dollar cost average, because anytime they even get near it, they're just going to supplement the reserve with more Bitcoin.
I 100% agree. Why is the price of Bitcoin hanging in so well? Because everyone has a $21,000 buy target, and they feel like, shit, it's not getting down there. So I'm not going to be too smart by a half. I'm going to chip away at my position anywhere in the $20,000 handle. If Bitcoin's worth $2 million, which I think it is in today's dollars, not because of my CDS model, but actually because of a total addressable market calculation, if you're messing around because you're waiting for Bitcoin to go to 21,000 versus buying it at 29,000, you're the stupidest asset manager on the block, okay? It's a rounding error in the context of where it could go, especially, and here's the secret sauce, when the gamma squeeze kicks in. It'll go to your $200,000 price target overnight, Max, when one large company or big pension fund announces, you know, $100 billion position in Bitcoin. It's bound to happen. It's going there. That's the way it's trading right now. It's like a coiled spring, in my opinion. That being said, if the world shits the bed overnight, you'll have downward pressure because of the algos that are trying to trade it alongside the NASDAQ.
Yeah, agreed on that. It's falsely being correlated with NASDAQ.
I have bad news for you. If you're not rich by now, you're screwed. And if you're in debt, you're even double screwed. How so, you might wonder? Well, the sad truth is that you're working your whole life to make someone else rich. The mega corporations, the banks, the politicians, everyone is getting richer. They get your money. And what is even worse, they get your time, they get your life. You are not even in a rat race. You're in a financial prison. But what could a solution for you look like? Honestly, I don't know, but I know what a solution for me would look like. It's very simple. I use whatever money I have and I multiply it with 1,000. This could make my life much easier and probably yours as well. If you have $1,000 available and multiply this with 1,000, I believe that this could solve some financial issue for the one or the other. Of course, if you're ugly, you would have to multiply it with much more than 1,000. My name is Markus Dan, and this is what I decided to do. I decided to 1000x my money. This is not a joke. I know what you may be thinking. What is this guy talking about? How should this work? This is not possible. Well, I made a detailed video where I laid out my plan. And some clever folks might even want to look at this plan and copy it and do exactly what I do. This is just a little hint on the side. You have two options. You leave, you forget what you have seen. You do whatever you're doing and you hope that somehow you get some other results. Good luck with that. Or you click the link below the video. You enter your email address because I'm not showing this to everybody. You at least watch my video on how I plan to 1000x my money. The choice is yours. Make the right choice. Join me. See what a different future you could have. See at least how I intend, how I plan to do the 1000x. So click on the link below, enter your email address, and I see you on the other side. Your Markus Dan.